for Dread Central, but if you had a couple more minutes, I do have questions specifically because of that.
Well, I have 11% on my battery, and if you want to pick it up on another day, I'm fine with that. But go ahead.
Okay, it's been a while since I spoke to Mike Jitlove, but how true is the Wizard of Speed and Time and when dealing with Hollywood culture to get something made?
Well, there are some things in there that are very true. Um, uh, but in real, but you got to think that remember that was made in the early '80s,
Hmm.
so things are very different now. People can have their, if you want to be a movie reviewer or if you want to make your own content, you want to be a newscaster, you go on YouTube and you make your own news channel. You do your own research, stick a microphone in front of your face and a camera in front of your face, and you do a newscast. You don't have to wait for someone to give you the license to do it. So back then, when that movie was made, there were network television outlets, and you hoped that someone discovered you. And which I don't know if you know this story, but uh, Mike had gone to the local news station and played one of his short films for Regis Philbin at the time, who was the ABC movie reviewer. Played it on his show, reviewed it, gave it a nice review. At that particular time, a producer for Disney was buying a television. Who saw it? They thought it was a demonstration uh, video for that TV. So, no, this come off of TV. I gotta talk to that guy. That's how he got discovered. And Mike had a very specific way dealing with business that didn't work really well with Disney. So there was a lot of workarounds they did
Hmm.
in order so that they could work together. And that's basically how the Wizard of Speed and Time came to be. It's all those workarounds, like we have a certain way of doing things here at the Disney studio, and this is how we do them. And we know that your talents, we want to put your talent inside this process, and we pay you for it, and then you go home. And with Mike, it's a life ambition. And Mike, I think, would have done very well in today's world being a YouTuber and making films whenever he wanted, and having a huge YouTube following with all the monetization, and corporate entities find out that you're now an influencer because you have many people that are interested in you, and all of a sudden they give you lots of money to maybe place a product, or talk about a product even.
Hmm.
He would have done very well in today's world. So.
That kind of segues into my other question. It looks like
Mhm.
because of the technology of today and YouTube and Vimeo and all that, the resurgence of the creative spirit seems to be even more so now because now you have freedom. You don't have to rely on big businesses to give you that outlet. Now you can pretty much do
Yes.
anything you want anywhere you want.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. I'm amazed at all the new. One of my favorite YouTubers is a guy named. He goes by 42, but it's spelled out Thoughty too.
Hmm.
And he's a young guy. He's probably 22, 23, and he's got a like a 1930s BBC booming voice, and he just talks about interesting, trivial information, everything about medical history, about the history of space exploration. He just picks topics and talks about them. Absolutely fascinating, and it's just him in front of white paper.
Hmm.
Talking with a couple of cutaways to some images, and he gets every week he gets many hundreds of thousands of views.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's I love it that I actually don't watch TV. I watch YouTube.
Yeah, we're the same way.
I have to catch up on all the newest TV series. But yeah, it's really awesome that people can actually do that.
The last question I have is, as a proud owner of the Wizard of Speed and Time soundtrack that I bought from you in
Would you
1999,
like me to sign it?
um, the uh, the Intimata suite is my favorite composition, even though I don't think it's actually in the movie, but it is my favorite track. What is
Uh-huh.
your personal favorite from that soundtrack?
Oh, it's the Wizard Run,
The
and
the the film version or the
both of them, the
okay.
film version and the short version, and that suite for orchestra that you're talking about that's now owned by Sony Pictures, so it shows up everywhere. It shows up in video games and commercials. There was an Audi commercial with the two Spocks, It was used in that, when Leonard Nimoy was alive, and I hear it every so often. There was a radio ad about the Queen Mary here. There's a big event going on there, and they used it, and it shows up. It plays everywhere, which is absolutely wonderful. But those are my favorite pieces. That piece, Intimida, is a piece of music I wrote specifically to get the gig of the Wizard of Speed and Time, because the producer, for whatever reason, wasn't interested in using me.
Yeah, I
He,
remember.
I don't know who he had in mind to do it for, but it wasn't me. And after he heard that, he goes, "Oh, okay, okay, that sounds great." And after that, I used that same piece of music to get me in the door for the Wonderful World of Disney theme.
Which was the major effects episode, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes, I
yes,
remember. I actually remember seeing that when I was a kid on a rerun when I was like five
yes.
or six, and that started my whole love affair with special effects. And the movie industry was actually your music and Jit Love's filmmaking,
Yeah,
and that's what
Mike,
kicked it all off for me.
and you have to understand, Mike fancied himself as something of a composer. He would whistle little tunes and
Mhm.
ideas and things like that. And it was a lot of fun working with him.
Well, John, I thank you very much for putting up with those questions and the other ones.
Oh,
Thank you for taking your time today to speak to us.
it's really great.
And you said that the Killer Clowns is going to be orchestrated. I saw you gave me that link for that YouTube video. Is there going to be
Yes,
an additional one on top of that one
yeah.
coming out?
We want to do the entire soundtrack with
Hmm.
an orchestra, and also I have a band called Cinematic Steampunk. We're going to be doing some of the music cues that way. I also have a guest appearance by Bear McCreary. He's going to be playing he may be playing like the Galactic Globe Theater with with all of his interesting instruments, his squeeze boxes and his hurdy-gurdy and what have you. Uh, that's another story for another time, but we met at a signing, Bear and myself, and I was convinced that no one's. I said, Bear, listen, if you want me to learn your autograph, I'll help you out because I happen to think my line's empty. Anyways, I had a really healthy showing. I had people that had like my homework from the seventh grade. I don't know where they got it. They wanted me to sign it, and Bear looked over and says, I'm sorry, you're doing pretty good." And I said, "Well, thanks a lot. I had no idea. I didn't have a clue." So we've been kind of pals ever since then.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, John. We'll make sure we put all the links for everything you mentioned in the video. Thank you again. I've been waiting a long time to actually talk to you about some of this stuff, so I appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you, Michael. You're a great talent and a broadcaster.
Thank you, John. You have yourself a good day, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.